This is Justin AMZN on Friday, January 15th, 2021. And we had a bearish retest gap. So we gapped down a little bit and retested and rolled over and continued lower, which means on the 5-minute, the symmetry broke down. So we continued lower below this blue line and it just didn't hold. So that's all right. We'll see what we could have done in here in the 5-minute and see what confluences we had with the options. So now that this is set up, I was looking for X marks the spot, didn't get back up there. From the open, it had a really nice open and low candle here on the 5-minute, shaved bottom, and we bounced off of that with a really nice hammer right here, and then came right into that price with an inverted hammer and came right into that price again here. So a number of places where there was confluence. And let me zoom back to this. There we go. Okay, so this being support, support, resistance, resistance would have played out on the calls a little bit here. Actually had some resistances drawn, or a resistance drawn in over here. Just tried to connect the lines and it lined up really well with right here, as this was coming in as resistance on the call and resistance on the stock. That would have been a great place to be buying a put. And the only issue I had here is I didn't really have any sort of confluence with this price on the put. It was lower than anything else by quite a bit. Right before doing the video, I was actually trying to draw in something. It's like, okay, could I have connected these, lows, something like, okay, I've got a low here, a low here, a low here, goes right through that one. Oh yeah, okay, that lines up. But I mean, it's, if I had drawn it like a little bit over here, it looks like it's touching that low. We're off on this one a little bit. It's like, okay, that totally misses. So, it's too hard to say, oh, there's the right line when it's something like this. Sometimes these line up really well. This one was not. I know obviously I'm drawing it to line up, but let's say you connected these two lows and you're looking for another, looking for another low. So you got that one, sort of that one, and then you want something way down here. Well, obviously that's almost zero. So it's not going to go down there, well, it can obviously go down there. But the point is, there wasn't a clear confluence with this. The best thing it had going for it is it was a high wave candle. It was a really small candle. And after it reversed here, just getting a setup above, triggering above like at $4 and a stop at $3, and hoping to not be stopped out at 3 if you had a little bit of slippage from the 305 low, or if it came back down there, not slippage unless you had a stop down at 3 and it came down to 3 or 305 again. It didn't. It actually came in at a low of 4 and then didn't come back down to a low of 4 right here. So I don't even know if it would have filled at 4. We're just seeing lows printed at 4. But if somehow you got in at 4, or even let's say 450, 8 hours, so going up by $100 risk, 8 hours is 8 on the option. So 4 plus 8 is 12, and it pushed past 12 over here. So it would have worked. Obviously, you would have had to be patient. If you got in on this candle at 4 or even 450, or any of these candles, waiting 35 minutes to move your stop would have been putting a stop up over in this area, or even at least break even at like 450. Should have held, the low over here was 522. So should have worked out to get up to this price. And then again, as it's getting up to these highs, there's some nice highs here on the calls. Nice highs here on the puts. And these were lining up. Let's see if I can get this to line up. So these were lining up, with like this price here. Not that one. This one didn't touch. This touched, and then this was already pushing through. So we weren't even getting this low to hold. And then already trying to see if we could get a bounce here, it was already way broken down past. So I drew in this line, again, another uptrend line, trying to catch some of the lows. And after I drew this in and looking for a bounce over here, that didn't happen. I realized the bounce happened here. This was actually a really nice place for it to bounce. The only problem is probably would have had to set this up like 6 by 5, and 6 plus 8, again, 8 hours is 14, and it just barely didn't get to 14. The highs here are 1398, 1395. So this probably would not have filled at 8 for an 8-hour trade. As it started rolling over, especially after this candle comes in, because this is almost a bearish Marbozu, very close. The open and the high are 20 cents off. The low and the close are 1 cent off. So really close to a Marbozu, much smaller than the one we were looking at the other day. But after this candle comes in, it's like, okay, this should be breaking down. Tries to recover. This would have been a good place to exit. You still could have had a stop moved up and probably been stopped out, like from getting in at 6, maybe getting stopped out or trailed out at 7, maybe a little higher at 8 if you had trailed your stop up over in here. So that would have been maybe a 1 or 2 hour trade, which still is nice. You know, it's just not the 8-hour trade that it almost would have hit. But again, looking for this to happen again over here, I thought it had a better chance to continue back up over here. Really nice hammer, some high wave candles, looking for a bounce off of this uptrend line and coming right into the same price. All it needed to do was tick up, come back up here. That's, you know, getting in at 6, getting out at 14 is what we're looking for. It still wouldn't have made it back up to 14 if it was holding this line. So it wouldn't have worked. It almost worked here. It kind of did work over here, right? But it didn't quite get the low. And this would have been the first candle. So this is, I mean, you're not buying the exact low off of a single candle. I mean, obviously you can. Somebody did, right? But looking for, you know, confluence, looking for, you know, the lines to show us where to set up the trade. It's not going to work with the first candle. It'll work on a second or third or fourth or something. So, yeah, that would have been a nice bullish trade. This would have been a nice bearish trade, and we just kind of chopped sideways for a while and then rolled over. But a great place to roll over. I mean, just look at this. Look, low here, high here, and I mean, should have been looking for it here. It wasn't until I actually drew this in, it's like, wow, that actually looked really good. And I drew it in after, like way over here. I didn't notice it. So I should have been looking at that a little more. I drew in this, I don't know what color this is, yellowish orange line. Just trying to see, okay, if we do continue lower, how much lower could we go? And let me zoom back out, I think on the hourly. Yeah, so I drew a bigger triangle here, and I drew this last night after doing the video, and I just drew in some lows. We still kind of held this price today. If we go lower from here, I think, what was I looking at? There's a really nice gap way back over here. There's a really nice gap and go over here, somewhere in here. I don't remember what the price was. 29 something, 28 something. We have not gotten, if you look at the daily, we have not gotten a close below that gap at all. And it's basically coming back down to like around 2,900. So that's how much further we could continue if we do continue. Just kind of throwing that out there. Now that we've broken this kind of symmetry, you know, on hourly, this looks like a lot of bearish candles. There's some really big bearish candles here. And granted, they're filled inside, and the bullish candles are hollow. So it doesn't exactly do it justice the way I have the candle set. But this looks like a really nice flag right here. Just even the way that this line is drawn and then the flat top, this looks like a really nice flag, and it broke, and we ended with an indecision on the hourly. And so if we gap down, continue lower on Tuesday, so Monday is a holiday, markets are closed, so the next video I'll be doing should be Tuesday. If we get a gap down again, that could just run. We should pretty quickly be taken out. We should be taking out a hammer here, getting below any of the buyers here. This thing has some more room that it could really run. And I know so many people want Amazon to continue up. You know, the fundamental side that they've been doing so many deliveries, you know, for the fourth quarter, and ordering gifts and what people are ordering from throughout the year. So I think there's an expectation, oh, it's got to go up. Well, it's not yet. And if people are buying it expecting that and it's not, some people may be squeezed out if it continues lower. So there's the kind of fundamental side of it, which I don't normally talk about. I normally stick to what the chart is doing, and the chart is just refreshing. Sorry about that. But yeah, so here we are gapping below this kind of double bottom we closed with on this blue line yesterday, gapping below that. That's the first signal that, okay, it's not bullish, obviously. Ran up, put in a really nice inverted hammer. This hammer up here came right into this line again, which, this is basically a retest of this same line and what we broke down from yesterday and rolled over straight away. So actually that's not something I really dove into with the video. Let's go take a quick look back at the puts to see what was the price up here and did that line up with anything. So this is the third, I didn't even say it. This is the 3110 call, 3110 put. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier. So this was in a similar range to the low from yesterday for this strike. And if we go back to look at like the 3100, that's where I had drawn some lines. We got a similar low, pushed a little bit lower. So let's see, getting in for, so getting in at this low, oops. Sorry, let me get back into this. So 4 by 3, that could have worked. If you're quick, getting in 4 by 3, you had not just this candle, but another candle here to get in as it's forming a hammer and then breaking down and continuing on lower. That would have been a nice move from 4 up to 12, looking for 8R. That would have worked. So right out the gate, that would have been a great bearish trade here. And then it just chopped and gave you a little bit of opportunities. Again, with this strike, let me go back to, see now the 3125 yesterday was really light volume. It had much better volume today, but it didn't move enough. It was too far away. So maybe the 3100 call. So this, oops, not the 30. What am I trying to type? 3100 call. So this is the hardest part about just trying to nail down which option, doing it on the fly as it's moving, as it's, sort of consolidating. And so it, yeah, nice hammer here. $3 range of the hammer. So that would have been a little bit tough. You're basically in the money, at the money right here. So it's going to be pricier because of where you're at. So the 3110 was just enough out of the money when you were down here that it could move back up and be in the money pretty easily. And that has, I've found a better move. And that's why I'm looking for the 8R move on that with $100 risks. Obviously didn't get it there, did get it over here. This was 90. So the R value, the range. So not R risk, but technically R for range and risk, that works. So if you get something that's under 100, or under 1.00 on the option in the options world, that's going to be a candle that would fit the risk value I'm talking about. And then if you have a $200 R, you just get 2 of these contracts, or $300 R, 3 of these contracts. So yeah, it's just a really simple way to think about how to pick up the options. And yeah, so we'll continue with it next week. Things may move a little bit different next week each day because Monday's a holiday. Any premium is going to start out with probably Monday, typical Monday premium built in, but on a Tuesday, and it'll drain out a little bit faster on Tuesday, a little bit faster on Wednesday, a little faster on Thursday, and then Friday will be another one of these days like this. So, anyway, I hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.